you guys, anybody want to lead in with a question to Glenn about, let's talk about As the World a little bit, kind of get into it for anybody that's curious.
I guess off the top here, going back to Glenn, when you got the call from Michael, I'm assuming it was Michael that called you in.
Absolutely.
Like, how did he present the project to you, and what were your original thoughts on trying it?
He came to me because we had done a couple of records prior, and we kind of favored each other's, the way we interacted and all that. And it was at that moment where, those kinds of relationships with record labels were very meaningful to a producer, because so even if it was something kind of outside the norm, I still had to pay attention because it was coming from a guy who was a fairly powerful guy in the music industry. But beyond that, because we both knew that we were big progressive rock fans and there was a lot of history in that there, he came to me and verbatim said, "We're never going to make a dime on this, but we're going to have the most fun we've ever had." No joke. And I'm like,
I think we missed that part of the conversation.
Yeah, I know. This is a little bit of a revelation. But yeah, it was like my expectations about the record were remarkably well managed, which is I understood what was going on at Sony at that time. I understood the politics of the music business and Sony in particular because I had done a lot of records with them. And I absolutely knew that this was going to cut against the grain. I mean, the internal support beyond Michael Kaplan for the marketing of this record, the support, tour support, all of that, that was going to be a little bit of a tough thing. But to be absolutely honest, I really didn't give a shit, because when I heard the record, I was like, oh my gosh, this is.
Did he give you the demos that we had for the
Yes.
album? Okay,
Yes.
So you were listening to those. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And he also gave me, I absolutely got Suffocating the Bloom, that I remember, and probably one or two others. I think your self-titled record.
Yep.
I got that as well.
Yeah.
And, I saw, as any producer would do, I saw, the marked difference between the very first thing and the demos for As the World. And, I mean, I just felt like I really wanted to be on board for this. And then the next trick was us meeting and whether or not we felt some sort of synchronicity about musical direction, how the record was going to be made. And when I saw your guys' willingness to spend what I thought was the right amount, right being subjective, of time in pre-production, that really kind of put me over the edge in a very, very good way. Your dedication and your devotion to making things be really as good as they could be and putting that kind of time into it was like, oh my gosh, this is just a great choice. And very, very, no joke, very thankful that you guys, reciprocated and were like, oh, yeah, we'll work with this guy, Glenn, We had no knowledge of each other at all.
That's right. Did you come to our place or did we go out somewhere meeting first time?
The first time we met at your studio in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And I came down on a train with Michael and I think Michael's assistant Nadine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good memory.